Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today, man? This is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning talk. For first-time listeners, I'm on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:45 a.m. Central Time. That's you can calculate what time zone are you in. But man, this morning is one of the days, man. Um, One of the days, Husband Smith, good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you? One of the days I woke up and was like, man, I was so tired. I was going a lot the last days, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything today. I'm too tired. I need to rest. Trying to talk myself out of it. And then, as I always tell people, I know when God didn't approve a day off for me. And today's one of those days. He said, no, the enemy trying to say, you need a day off. Just take, you're tired. You know, making much difference anyhow. Just lie down and sleep. And, the father said, no, this is the day you might miss that person. I don't know when you approved the day off, and he didn't approve it today. So it's one of those days I had to fight myself to come up. I said, man, what am I telling the people today? And this message come, it's your time. I was like, it's your time. What do I mean? Then I go and research. And I did this before. So somebody need to hear this today. I tell you guys, it's somebody need to hear this. You tell me nope. You getting up. I don't care how tired you be. You got some work for me to do. Someone is waiting to hear this, and you're not going to miss that person. If you miss that person, it's on you. It's on you. So you bear the responsibility. So I'm not going to bear the responsibility. I can come and do what he asked me to do. It's your time. Whoever this message is for, you are special to him. He need you to hear this. It's your time, right? I'm going to go from Jeremiah 1, 4 through 10. Jeremiah 1, 4 through 10. And this is not only reserved for Jeremiah. This is for all of us. This is how all of us come into existence. It's pertaining to everyone. So whoever it is, your time. It's your time to shine. It's your time to rise up. Let this message be the last one you need to hear to push you to do what you need to do. It is your time. All right, let's go into it. This is Jeremiah 1, 4 through 10. So the word of the Lord came to me saying, this Jeremiah, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. This was saying, Karen McKen, how are you doing this morning? So the word of the Lord came to me saying, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nation. So God telling Jeremiah, and this week telling all of us, before you were born, I knew you. Before you were born. So, man, just stop. What you got to do, go ahead and do it. He said before you were born, he done appoint you to do that thing before you were born. Like I always said, God starts from the end and the beginning. If he wants a great scientist, he decided, okay, I know in the time 2023, the world is going to have this crisis and the need this great scientist to solve this problem. So way back when, maybe 50 years ago, he said, okay, I have to get this person here now so the time he can be ready in 2023 to solve this problem in the world. So he done make that scientist. So before he put that person in the womb, he done said, this is my scientist. This is my teacher. This is my lawyer. This is my great sportsman. This is my doctor when he put you in the womb. So when you come out here, you come here for a mission already. Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet. In this case, he appointed Jeremiah as a prophet before he was born. What did he appoint you to do that you know you need to do? That he wake me up this morning to come and remind you. I knew you before you were born. And it's your time to do what you need to do. Because this is the time I call you for. 50, 30, 20. How old you be right now when he formed you in the womb. He's saying this is the time I called you for. You need to rise up. When I formed you in the womb 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, it's for this time now. It's for this time. So let me go that over. He said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Here are the excuses or Jeremiah making that a lot of us make, and we need to stop making them today. Alas, sovereign Lord, I said, I don't know how to speak. I'm too young. Stop making those excuses right now. You don't know how to speak. You're too young. I ain't got enough education. I ain't got enough finances. I don't have enough time. I'm too short. I'm too fat. Stop making the excuses. Because here we tell Jeremiah right now. Jeremiah is saying, I don't know how to speak and I'm too young. But the Lord said to me, don't say I'm too young. You must go to everyone I send you and say whatever I commanded you to say. Stop saying you're too young. Stop saying you're too old. Stop saying you can't speak. Stop saying you don't have enough finances. Stop saying you don't have enough time. Stop saying you're too short. Stop saying you're too tall. Whatever he called you to do, you have everything you need to do it. I'm fired up this morning because I really didn't want to sleep when God said, no, come out and give this message. So I'm fired up. I'm fired up, right? He said, do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue, declares the Lord. He's saying he is with you every step you're going to go and do what he needs you to do. You're going to look, stop making the excuses and go and do it, right? Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appointed you over the nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to uproot. He's saying, okay, stop making excuses and give you everything you need right now. I give you everything you need right now. You got everything you need. He reached out and touched his mouth. Okay, you can speak now. What's the excuse now, Mr. Jeremiah? You're saying you can't speak? Boom. Then the Lord reached out and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put the words in your mouth. So he already gave you what you need. He put the words in his mouth. He can't make the excuse anymore saying he can't speak. I put the words in your mouth. You just go and say what I tell you to say. What's the excuse now, Mr. Jeremiah? What's the excuse now? That person out there who making the excuses every day. What's the excuse? He gave you everything you need. Let's go and see how this is backed up in Jeremiah 29:10-14. Jeremiah 29:10-14. This is for the confirmation, right? Listen, the people, Israelites were in Babylon. They were held captive in Babylon. So here we telling Jeremiah here. He said, this is what the Lord says. You will be in Babylon for 70 years. You'll be in Babylon for 70 years. But then I will come and do for you all the good things I've promised, and I will bring you home again. Say you're going to be in Babylon. You're going to be in captivity. Let me go on a little bit. For I know the plans I have for you, say the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a hope in the future. In those days, when you pray, I will listen. He said, you're going to be in captivity for a while. But I'm releasing you from the captivity now, right? If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. I'll be found by you, says the Lord. I will end your captivity and restore your fortune. So he said, your captivity is over. I will gather you out of the nations where I send you and will bring you home again to your own land. So he's saying to you, you was held captive by something. Maybe it's your own mind you're held captive by. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a job. But he's saying the captivity is over. He released you out of your captivity. Go ahead, have the courage and do what it is. It is your time. You are called for a time like this. You remember the book of Esther? Remember the book of Esther when Mordecai told her when Haman had sent out the decree, get the king to sign off on the decree to kill all the Jews. And when she was saying, man, making the excuse when Mordecai tell her she need to go to the king, and she's saying, man, I just can't walk up on the king like that. The king got to invite you in, and it's 30 days he didn't invite me in. And, and Mordecai said, look, maybe you were put in the palace for a time such as this. You were put there for this time. Do what you were called to do. Go and save your nation of people. This is probably what God put you in the palace for. And remember, you're also a Jew. You're also a Jew. And if he killing all the Jews, you're going to die too. This is what you were called to do. So I'm telling someone there, you called to do something special. In the words of Miles Monroe, if you don't do what you need to do, you're a generational thief. Because your gift is not for you. Your gift is not for you. It's to share with the world. So he sent me this morning when I really want to be in my bed sleeping to say, no, you're going to get up and give this, whoever it is, my word. It is your time. You got everything you need to do it. He said here, let me remind you, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you to do the things I called you to do before you were born. So stop making the excuses. He's saying, if you didn't think you were ready before, this is the time. You are ready. You have everything you need. Just go ahead and do it. And he tells Jeremiah, I'll be right there with you. Jeremiah said he couldn't speak. He put words in his mouth. Okay, you can't speak. Look, I put the words in your mouth. Just going to repeat what I say. Just going to repeat what I say. Guys, I tell you the truth. I never see myself doing this. The people who grew up with me might wonder, oh, Gregory, how you get into that? What? I never see myself doing this. I never. And he put it on my heart to go ahead and I would start studying this stuff. And one day he told me, he said, go ahead and do a little stuff in your family meeting. I said, man, God, what are you talking about? I was going talking about, but people ain't gonna make sense. Nobody ain't gonna listen. He said, hey, you're worried about the wrong things. Go ahead and do what I asked you to do. I go, okay, I start doing that. And then the day he said, okay, I want you to go on Facebook and start going live. I didn't know nothing about going live on Facebook, tell you the truth. I didn't know nothing. My phone was just to make a phone call and basically check a little email and stuff. He said, go ahead, Facebook. I said, Facebook Live, what's that? I said, man, I got to get perfect setting, a perfect background. I got to get all of that. Because he said, no. Go ahead. And I pondered him for a couple of weeks. And that's how it become. I tell you, that's how it become the inspirational morning walk. Was no plan. I was walking one day and he come back to me with it. And I said, man, God, what you're talking about? I don't know. He said, you got a phone in your hand. You're exercising right now. He said, turn it on and do what I asked you to do. This is the time I call you for. Turn it on. And I looked there, Facebook Live. I tried out the day before. And then the next morning when I walk in, I just pop it on. And that's how this started. I never see myself doing what I'm doing. But he said, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you, and this is what I call you for. Before you were formed in the womb, he said, I give you everything you got to do it. And I can put the words in your mouth. And exactly what he do, like what he did with Jeremiah. He put the words in my mouth every day to come and tell you guys. So I'm telling you, he knew you before you were born. He called you for this time. Rise up. The world needs you. The world needs what you have to offer right now. Right now. So who this is for, who got ears, let them hear it. Right now. It is your time. You are called for this time right here, guys. All right? Whoever it's for, go ahead and act on it. Go ahead and act on it. Go ahead. I'm pleading with you. Go ahead and do what you're called to do. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave that there, man. But it's your time, man. It's your time. It is your time. Let me read that one more time again. Let me read it again before I close off. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet. In this case of Jeremiah, he appointed him as a prophet. What did he appoint you to do before he formed you in the womb? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? You were called to do it. You have everything to do it. Everything you need to do it, you have to do it. It's in you already. He put it in you before you were born. All right, guys, I rest my case. I'll leave that there. Have a great, great day. And we'll talk again. Today is what? I don't even know what day it is, but we'll talk again. All right. See you guys later. Okay, bye.